What's up, everyone, and welcome to the RRBG podcast. In this episode, it's the return of Chaney Crabb of the band Entheos. They have a new album, Time Will Take Us All, available for pre-order now. Go check out the music video for the new song, I Am the Void, from that record. It is fantastic. I think you'll love it. We talk a lot about the album and the theme. We talk about her experience being on YMH with Tom Segura and Christina P. We talk a lot about comedy. We also dive into the accident that she had where she scraped up her face. It was pretty devastating. And we get a little bit deep near towards the end. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please pre-order their album. It's available on Metal Blade Records. Go follow them on social media at Entheos on all the things. Make sure you're following us at RRBG Podcast. If you like pro wrestling, check out Comedy Store Wrestling, where I'm the host with Earl Skakel. Please subscribe to the channel down there. Hit the little bell and the little heart and the thumbs up and all the things. All of the items that are down there for you to let the algorithm know that you're interested in the show. It'll help us get in front of more people. Cheers. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast, and I would like to welcome back to the show Chaney Crabb of Entheos. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing, Eddie?
Like we were saying before we started recording, I'm very stoned, and I fucked up and smoked before setting all the cables up. It was a debacle. I had to and then when you're like, oh, give me a second, I'm like, the lighting's off. And I'm like, I can't do anything about this because this is daytime. I normally record
great
at night. It looks great. How you doing? Everything good?
Everything is great. I'm just chilling. It's a beautiful morning in Nashville. I can't complain.
Nashville.
Yeah.
How's it going out there? How's the scene? Because I know music is a big deal in Tennessee and Nashville, but you know, that's a different type of music that you make.
Yeah, honestly, the metal scene here is insane. It's crazy. I mean, we live like down the street from Mark Lewis. We live down the street from the vocalist of Inferi. There's a really good metal scene here. I feel like Nashville doesn't get the cred because everyone thinks of it as being, the country. Yeah, totally. It is funny though, because so many people here play music that like when people ask us what we do and we're like, yeah, we're musicians. No one is fazed by it whatsoever. They're like, oh, another one.
Oh, great. That's like comedians in LA.
Exactly.
Everybody's a comedian in LA. Don't worry about it.
Straight up. And now Austin too, right?
Oh, yeah. Austin's the big one. I mean, hey, let's go ahead. I'll just talk about it right now. I had it on my list of shit to talk about, but we'll get to the album, which is, by the way, so far incredible. I've only heard the 3.
Thank you.
But you I'm like watching, I watch all that stuff separately. Like, to me, I have 2 different lives where it's like my metal life where I go to shows and stuff, and then my hanging out at the store, working there for the wrestling podcast is a whole different world. And to see those worlds cross over, it's very awesome. To see your face on like the YMH with Tom and it's like, what the fuck? So,
yeah.
Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been like the weirdest experience ever because I, like you, have been way into the comedy podcast world for a long time. Like I've listened to Your Mom's House since they shot that podcast in their apartment, I think is where they shot back in the day. And like, I remember turning around to Naveen one day when I was listening to Your Mom's House and just saying, man, it would be so cool if I was friends with Christina. Like, I feel like we'd get along. And in a way, I feel like I manifested that. It's the weirdest, most surreal thing that's ever happened to me.
It's not in a way, by the way, you totally manifested that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that type of stuff makes you think, right? But so it's just been crazy. I never ever thought in a million years that like my metal life would converge with my strange interest in comedy podcasting and comedy period. So yeah, it's really cool. It's still surreal. I don't really know what to even say about it because it's like it's mind-blowing that I'm even talking about myself and Your Mom's House like in the same universe.
Yeah, right. It's sick. It made me so happy. I unfortunately did not catch the holiday special, but I want to. I just haven't had time. I honestly.
Well, my mom did, which was.
Oh no.
My mom was watching it and she had no idea what to expect. And like when some of the shit hit, I texted my mom and I was like, you probably shouldn't watch this. And she was like, too late. So
Too late, sorry.
Yeah. So my mom did not make it all the way to the end to see the video, but we put it on the internet. So
Okay. But
fuck, man.
that's amazing. I mean, honestly, it is, like you said, it is a weird crossover, but I'm so
Yeah.
happy you're there. I mean, I've been blessed to be able to kind of do that here in LA. Like having a show at the stores to me
It's
equally
amazing.
is like, what's happening? What are
Yeah.
you talking
That's
about?
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, because ever since like you, I was as a child. Like, who was your first like comedian that you remember as a child?
I was trying to think of this the other day. The first comedian that I remember actually like thinking was really good was probably honestly seeing Dane. That was kind of
Really?
around the age that like I hadn't been exposed to comedy at all, right? So what was the name of that first that huge special that he did when he was he was like on a circular
Oh,
stage?
yeah. I
The
don't.
big
Yeah,
one.
the big one. That was a. People give Dane a lot of shit, and sometimes you want to say it's justified, whatever.
Hmm.
But the dude did some crazy. That was a really crazy special at the time. Nobody was doing that.
Dude, it was huge. And I remember like for kids my age, I was probably what, I don't know, 15 when that hit. So for kids my age, I think it brought a lot of us into the comedy world. If we didn't, get into like the old cats who are doing it, he just had this like comedic sense that appealed to, I think, like college age kids and around the age that I was back then. So I remember seeing that and just being like, this guy's a fucking genius. And, then I saw like Lisa Lampanelli and Cat Williams and stuff like that. And it started getting me further down the rabbit hole. But I really got more into it through the podcast scene.
Hmm.
Like, I started listening to Joe Rogan back in the day, and then through him, I found out about all of these fucking incredible comedians because he was introducing them to the world.
Hmm.
So my love for it definitely spun out of control after the podcast thing became a huge deal.
Yeah, and you yourself, you're in the podcast world too now. Hopper Crab and is doing well. So, I mean, I like what you're doing. I see what you're doing. It's not something that a lot of people do. It's like, okay, I see you're. It's important to diversify your revenue streams in a way that's creative. Like,
Yeah, it's true. What's funny is that like when the podcast started, you were the first person that I asked about like what platform do we upload this stuff? Like how do we do a podcast? So you were the first person that I went
I'm
to and
sorry, you made a mistake. I shouldn't have told you shit. No.
no, but dude, it's been like doing the podcast is just really fun. Like you said, it's a cool like other outlet and I feel like we get to talk about a lot of stuff on there that maybe people don't know about being in a band
Mm.
and what it's like to, do the musician thing full time. And we get it gives this cool chance to talk to people for extended periods of time that we wouldn't have that long of conversations with ever, as I'm sure you can relate to. It's
I
like,
don't have these are usually an hour. I don't have hour-long conversations with my friends often. I
yeah,
don't. In person, it's always like 5-10 minutes. Especially at like the store, it's like 2 minutes. Like, hey, what's up? Yeah, blah, blah. All right, man, I'll see you later, bro. And at shows, any show you go to, concerts, it's we can hang out backstage a little bit and you get a little bit of time, but it's not. It's a lot to ask of someone to sit down for an hour. I
oh
think,
yeah, oh
especially a
yeah,
busy person.
absolutely. And it's not like you're going to do the take me back to when you started doing, you don't do that in a normal conversation. So it's
Yeah.
cool to like learn that stuff about people through the podcasting thing. And then, it's formed a community for us. And we have like this whole Golden Lobster community that listens to our podcast now and hangs out with us when we do it live on Twitch. And I don't know, it's just added this whole separate thing to both of our lives that, neither of us ever set out to do a podcast or, anything like that. So it's been cool to watch grow. It's really, really cool.
So all right, and then now you have the album is about to drop. I saw the video last night for what was the song?
I
I
am
am
the
the
void.
void. Oh my
Mhm.
god. So tell me, you're singing now
Yeah.
more, like a lot compared to like previous. Like okay, I haven't heard every single one of your songs. There's a lot. You guys have been around for a while, but I have heard a lot of them, and I have seen you live a few times. I don't remember you singing like that in any of the songs.
Yeah, there's no singing. That's the first song that we've put out with singing in it. I mean, the last single had like a line.
Yeah, I saw
that was behind a screaming part, but this is the first full, like, we're singing now. There's more of it on the album, but I Am the Void is the most singy track. Okay. Like, that's the singing song that's a single, you know?
Yeah.
So I honestly I've been a little like scared to see what the reception would be. So it's been a pleasant surprise that people seem to like it. Like, I don't know how that happened, because you know how it goes. It's like when bands who are predominantly screaming start singing, there tends to be backlash.
Oh, absolutely. Pussies, you've gotten soft. How dare you?
Yeah. And I haven't seen that for this so far. So it's reassuring, because honestly, it's like that's a direction. That's a lot of my influence coming through on that song. You know, I listen to a ton of doom and stuff that sounds like what I want to put on record, and I haven't been able to do it so far. So putting this song out and seeing the reception has been inspirational to me and to Naveen, because now we're like, okay, we can go there, and it's like we can actually bring out our full, like, we have artistic freedom with this project for real. And I think that a lot of the time, that's what causes people to want to do solo projects, because they don't feel completely artistically fulfilled in what they're doing. And I now know that, you know, I can feel that sense of fulfillment in what we do, and it's people will be down, and that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I got to tell you, I mean, I've always been a fan, but now I'm like, it's elevated to me, because I'm a sucker for melody and singing. I love singing. So, you know, when I heard it, I was like, whoa, this is completely different, but still like incredible. And I don't know, I'm very proud. That's all.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Your voice is the strongest it's ever been. The low growls feel so powerful and so thick. Like, it's not, you know, there's like always a misconception when you see a female, you know, singing death metal vocals, you immediately like, it's not going to be as whatever. Like, guys they try to be that way, and like, there's no way she's going to sing like that. But your voice was so powerful that it's free from any of that. You're just like, that is ridiculous.
Thank you. Thanks. That really means a lot. You know, I feel like luckily I've just practiced for so much over the span of my life that I feel like my voice keeps getting better and better. And I mean, that's just my goal. I just always want to strive to like sound better and perfect this thing that I've dumped so much of my soul and years into. So it means a lot to hear that.
It's not fair, by the way. It's not fair that you can go that low and then sing pretty too. Like, go up there in the high melodies as well. Guys, I can't do that. I can do the growls maybe if I tried, but then I can't go all the way up there. That's too much.
I bet you could if you tried.
I mean, I'm sure I could hit it, but it would look silly. Like, I'd be like, you know, like trying my hardest.
Yeah.
It would look ridiculous, but you do it with ease. It's insane. So I'm happy. I'm proud. I pre-ordered the vinyl. I got the pretty gold one.
Oh, yes, that one.
So nice
looking. I saw that our product manager at Metal Blade got one and sent me a picture of it a couple of days ago, and that one looks so sick.
Nice. I'm glad that, you know, vinyl pressings are back on track. There was a little bit of a slump there.
I know.
Pretty tough. A lot of bands couldn't get their records. I mean, as a fan, I was waiting a year for a record after it dropped already, like on Spotify or something. So I mean, I still listen to it, but it's just, at that point, I'm just going to put it away into the collection, you know?
Totally. So Metal Blade kind of gave us an option, because we turned in the record last May or April, and they were like, okay, you guys can put the album out in November and have people wait on a vinyl release, or you can wait for vinyl to come out along with the release. And I collect vinyl. So I'm like, dude, we're putting it out when people can get vinyl. That's really important to me. So
Nice.
we
Yeah.
waited. Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know they were giving that option. I mean, I guess that makes sense. It might, depending on how your touring schedule is, it might become a little annoying to wait so many months, between.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's up with that? I mean, you got Evans back in the band,
Evan is just
kind of.
playing on the record.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Evan, he just can't tour. And we are a full-time touring band, So he's got she's 5 now.
Mm.
He's got a 5-year-old daughter and he wants to be present in his daughter's life. And to me, that's incredibly admirable. And, we love Evan is our brother. We love him like family, and his wife and his daughter. So, uh, whatever he wants to do is important to us. But his musical his musical voice has been incredibly important in our band, so it was important to us to have him on the record. And we had a different bassist playing on the record because Evan wasn't going to be able to do it. But when I got into a pretty bad scooter accident,
Yeah, I
and
wanted to
that
talk about that.
yeah, that kind of prolonged the process, so we ended up getting him on the record, which he just bringing in his voice altered a lot of parts on the record. And I mean, Evan's playing is unmistakably Evan,
Right.
so
Yeah.
and it's super unique and super melodic, and I'm really glad he's on it.
I hadn't even realized because what ended up happening, I put the video on and I see someone playing bass at one point in the video, and I'm like, it looks familiar.
Yeah.
And for a second, I'm like, I don't know, who could that? Maybe it's Mike Stringer. I don't know. He kind of looks the same hair. I'm like, all right. And then as time passed, I scrolled down. I'm like, let me look in the notes on YouTube, like what you guys put in the description,
Mhm.
and I saw Evan's name. That's what it is. It's
Yep.
because I hear him.
Yeah,
He's definitely
right.
there.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep, he's there.
So would you say your scooter accident silver lining is that it allowed for Evan to be
That's
on
definitely
the album?
one of the good things that came out of it.
Did anything
It
else good come from it? Because I know that's a negative experience and it
right.
sucks. But
Yeah,
what good came from that?
a lot of good came from it. I mean, I think that when something like that happens in your life, you're really reminded of how many people care about you. Um, all of my friends and family were there for me just like completely, and that was amazing. It gave me a new sense of of purpose. I felt just happy to be alive. I think that sometimes we can get caught up in that monotony of life and what's going on? What am I doing here? And I was just like, it's just reassuring. You're like, I want to live. I want to be alive and be doing this thing. And I want to be a vocalist. And it just kind of made me more certain of the choices that I've made and where I want to take my life. Um, so that like sense of being grateful was kind of like it came back to life with getting in that accident. And the lyrical content on this record changed. It changed the record a lot for the better. It just like made me a happier and better person, as weird as that sounds.
That's
Just
that's
it made me a lot more grateful.
that's a crazy lesson right there for anyone. Like a thing that could be so devastating and life changing, and
Mm-hmm.
you could spiral down into a depression if you let yourself, because you're like, oh, am I gonna, is it gonna come back to normal? Am I gonna be able to speak normally? Because I remember seeing
Right.
you posting videos of like, they were still recovering and you were trying to sing. I'm like, damn, like I'd be in bed crying right now.
There was a lot of that. There was a lot of being in bed crying. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's like what you just said is perfect. I think that the the people that we are, or the person that you are, can be highly determined by those type of moments in your life. You can take something like that and you can let the depression and the sadness get the best of you and get stuck in this moment and never be able to move forward from it, or you can turn it into something good. And there have been a lot of things in my life where I've just chosen to make it into something good rather than like sit and be about the sadness and let that encompass my life. And that's the type of person that I want to be. I want to take the positive path because I've seen people get stuck in those negative moments, and it can be really dark and really bad. And I think that overcoming things is it's a huge lesson, and just something that I want to be able to do. So that was really important to me. And with those videos that you're talking about, it's like, yeah, dude, for 2 months, I like didn't know if I was going to be able to do vocals anymore to the degree that I had before, because it's so reliant on lip movement, and I could not move I couldn't move my lips at all. It hurt to laugh. So
No,
right
neither
over,
can most of Hollywood right now, by the way.
why? What?
Oh, the lip injection thing out here is huge. You would
I've
think it would have
noticed.
gone away, but nope, it's still there. People still turning into Mickey Rourke.
I remember being at this restaurant in LA one time, and I swear to God, every single person in the restaurant had plastic surgery. And
It's
I
wild.
was really high, and I was just like looking around like, what's going on here? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, from the beginning, I was just like, I'm still going to do vocals. I don't know how well I'm going to do them, but I was pushing sounds out like a few days into it, to the point that Naveen was like, can you just take a rest and let yourself heal?
Settle down, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not who I want to be. I want to be the person that I would look up to. So that was my goal. And, my lips, they're still kind of numb. Like right here, I can't really feel, and my nose is still super numb and super fragile. So I'm like afraid for people to touch it, but
So no crowd surfing for you in any of the upcoming tours, I assume.
I'll probably still crowd surf because I'm a lunatic. But yeah, man. I mean, you live and you learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so last time you were on, we talked a lot about, exploring in that realm of, out of body and psychedelics and whatnot. And did you get anything from that in that sense where, maybe you had a moment when you landed that you kind of like out of bodied or something? Did anything like that happen?
I was drunk when it happened. And then I blacked out when it actually happened. So I can't remember anything that happened. I was completely blacked out. So there was no like out of body experience at that moment. I mean, since then, it's like I like to microdose and do stuff like that. So since then, I've had a lot of thoughts about it, but there was no specific out of body thing that was happening right there. It
So
was just,
you don't remember anything from the blackout?
no, I don't even know what hurt my face,
Oh,
because so Naveen and I were both like scootering home. And it was dark. It was probably midnight, 11 p.m. So to get to our old house in Santa Cruz, you have to go along like this God, what's the name of a road that's next to a highway? It's like I
like a
can't think
ramp?
of. No, it's like there are roads that are literally right next to highways, and there's a
Yeah.
word for it. So you have to go down that, and there are no street lights or anything. So he got home before me. I was behind him, and I must have like ran over something and tried to turn or overcorrect it. And I fell on like a piece of metal or something. So when I woke up, I thought that I had just like taken a nap in grass and that it was raining on me. So I didn't know that I was hurt. And I got up and went home, which my house was like a block away. And when I got home, I learned, because when I got home, Naveen was freaking out, like crying. And he was like, oh my God, I found you. It had been like an hour. And he had taken his scooter and he was like going up and down the road searching for me, but it was so dark out that he couldn't see me. So he thought that I'd been like kidnapped
Oh
or
shit.
something crazy had happened to me. So I only knew that something was wrong because he was freaking out. And he saw my face and he's like, you need to sit down. And I couldn't feel anything. So I didn't know that something was wrong. And like he had called the police, because he thought I was missing. So like 5 minutes after I got into my house and had sat down on the couch, the police came in and they were looking at my face, and I was just like, is something wrong? What's going on? And they were trying to calm me down and, got me into the ambulance and everything. So I have no idea what cut my face open. I don't know where exactly I landed. Yeah.
That
The
sucks.
details. Yeah. So but I mean, what is crazy is that 2 inches further up onto my head, I mean, it could have damaged my skull and like cracked it open and hurt my brain. I'm
Or hit your
lucky.
eyes,
Or hit my eyes. Yeah, anything. So I'm lucky that it happened to hit right there, because it could have been much worse.
That's wild. Oof, like just hearing you describe it was giving me chills and like making my spine tense up because I've been in a few. I'm an idiot, so I've had a few.
Yeah,
I've
right.
had a few accidents in my life, so I know that feeling. I know how much it sucks. And like, was there any sense of like once you realized what was going on,
Mhm.
did you get like weird guilt, like oh I fucked up or something? Because that happens to me. Like that shouldn't have happened. Like I fucked
Oh
up.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always have this feeling. I still get it to this day. Like, if only I wouldn't have made the decision to do that, then I wouldn't, like, my nose wouldn't be kind of fucked up in the way it was. So I always do that. Like,
Mm.
go back to the night before. Like, if I just would have made a few decisions differently, it wouldn't have happened that way. So yeah, of course, I know I fucked up. But like I said, you live and you learn. And I honestly do kind of live by I do honestly think everything happens for a reason. Everything has a purpose. So I just have chosen to look at it that way.
Hell yeah, that's the way to
Yeah.
look at it for sure. I mean, look at everything that's going on now. Like great success has who is that? Is that Borat? I forget.
I think so. Great
Great
success.
success. um, yeah, I mean, shit, dude. I don't know. I wanted to tell you something. I don't know if it's a little too out there, a little too weird for the people that are listening and watching, but when I did have an accident, one of those, and I blacked out,
Hmm.
I didn't remember the blackout at all either for a very long time. But I decided one day to like figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way that there's just a gap in my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
That can't be. I feel disconnected. I need to connect those dots.
Hmm.
And there is ways that you can you can figure out what happened if you're really if you get to that point. I could tell you a few things to try to
Tell me. I
connect
would
those.
like to know. I would like to know.
So one of the things that I did, I learned a lot about different breathing techniques. There's
Oh
like
yeah.
meditative breathing techniques, rebirthing kind of thing. I tried that. I went to Peru and I did the whole Inca Trail
Oh,
all the way
awesome.
to Machu Picchu.
Hmm.
By the way, it sucks. Don't do it. Didn't do anything. I was expecting like when I get to the ruins, I'm gonna get my answer, and then I got there and it was an empty. It just felt empty. Like it was
Hmm.
just full of. It wasn't empty though. It was full of tourists, and that's what made it feel empty. I felt like, oh no, these people
Uh,
have sucked it dry. No, there's
I'm
nothing here.
totally the type of person who would feel exactly like that as well.
Yeah. So don't waste your time doing a spiritual journey in Peru. I mean, it's fun if you like, life-threatening situations,
Hmm.
but don't do it. But yeah, there is different breathing and meditation and yoga techniques that I've tried that have helped me go back to that moment and like see what I saw, and I ended up tattooing it, which was the seed of life. I can't even show it properly on screen right now. There we go. This thing.
Oh yeah, yes.
That was the first thing I saw.
Love that.
And then after that, I saw a few more things, and I felt comfortable enough to be like, "Oh, I got what I need. I don't need to. I
Hmm.
don't need to continue to explore that because that's another thing. When you get into a psychological or psychedelics type of
Right.
exploration, you can
Yeah.
just go and disappear. You know.
Yeah, yeah. That's my I love psychedelics. I think obviously we both are alike in that way. I love psychedelics. I don't take like superhero doses though. I really
No
prefer
Bill Hicks doses for
micro
you.
dosing. No, I like micro dosing, and uh so I never go that far out there that I'm seeing all of that type of stuff and finding out, I never really have completely dissolved my sense of self with tripping.
Hmm.
But maybe I should. Maybe I
Try it
should.
once.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just try it once. Make sure you have nothing to do for 2 or 3 days because the recovery sucks.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is fun because you do learn some things. Like I remember one time I took a significant amount.
Mhm.
I ended up, I was like laughing uncontrollably
Oh,
and
yeah.
like on the floor kind of crawling. And I had an old boombox, the ones with the stick antenna that you pull out.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And it was, I turned on the radio and it was static, just white noise. And then I grabbed the antenna and salsa music started playing. I'm like, and I let go and it goes back to white noise. And I
Whoa.
grab it again and it's the same salsa thing. And I just started tripping out on that. I'm like, that's what I sound like on the inside.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's my energy right there. Salsa
Right.
music.
It's salsa music.
Oh, dude. I mean, I'm so glad, by the way, that, you're back. You're back. I mean, I know there's still parts that are numb and but you're back to form, like, and better than ever, like I said. So that's a relief for me.
Yeah.
I try not to, when stuff like that happens, I'll send my, hey, I'm sorry. That sucks. I really hope you feel better. But I know how much it sucks. So I don't like bothering people about it too much.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I just check in. Hey, how you doing? Good. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't like,
Totally.
just make sure you're fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Go.
There is a lot of stuff that comes along with it, It's like it damaged my face. So that was a whole thing to get over. Like, okay, my nose is going to look a little different for the rest of my life. I can deal with that. And there are those like weird materialistic things to get over.
Well,
But
come to Hollywood. We'll take care of you.
yeah, that's the whole opposite direction, right? But yeah, man, I feel like I said, I'm just happy to be alive. And I really think this life is worth living, and that just made me more steadfast in that lifestyle. So
Is the lyrics in the album, you said it changed your input into the album. So are the lyrics kind of about this newfound appreciation?
oh, 100%. That's
Yeah.
what the album became about. So Absolute Zero is the first single. So the album is written as one entire song. Like it plays completely together as one piece of music. And
I could tell that by the end of the video, I felt like there was something coming and it just kind of cut out. I'm like, shit.
exactly. Exactly. That's all Naveen. He's a fucking musical madman. But so it's all written as one song, and it's basically like a journey of growth and reflection. And it starts out with Absolute Zero, which is the sense of like depression and anxiety and sort of hell that came from the accident, into the growth of it grew into what I'm talking about now, that I'm just happy to be alive, and that's what I realized throughout this entire thing.
So,
and that time will take us all.
For sure. It will. That it will.
Yeah.
It's taking me. I can't. What was it? Thursday night, I was playing with my dog like this on the couch, kind of sideways, crooked. And then I got up to get some water, and my back cramped out, like old man style, just completely. And I just dropped to the ground. I'm on all fours. I'm like, oh God, oh shit. Like, call my wife to come in. Like, can you just press on my back, like, stab it with something, and it got back to normal. But it was like a Charlie horse in the middle of my back, like.
That's what happens, man.
That's some old man shit, though. Time is taking me away.
It's true.
So, okay. Tour is coming, I'm assuming.
Tour is coming. Yeah, we have one tour announced. We're going to Europe next month.
Psychroptic and Benighted.
And Archspire.
Oh, shit. I see. Yes. I death metal fonts, I love them. But I still, like, it takes me a second.
They're hard to read. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
That's a part of getting older, folks. It's harder to decipher this.
I have glasses that I normally wear. Dean Lamb, by the way, shout out Archspire. Dean Lamb, he's the best.
Yeah, he is the best.
It's going to be a fun tour.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't been drinking at all, so we'll see if I keep that rolling in Europe. But then we have another tour after that hasn't been announced, that's in the US, that's really, really good. So Yeah,
Nice.
just getting the ball rolling.
Is this your first tour post-pandemic?
No, we were direct support on an Archspire tour last March, and then we did a little run with Oceano, but
Okay.
so it's our second.
Okay. Okay. So the
Mhm.
nerves are gone, I'm assuming, of the whole being out for the first time with the. We're back to normal, right?
Yeah, we're back to normal.
We're back to normal. I mean, people
We're back
still.
to normal.
People still. Yeah.
Uh,
Everything's normal, guys.
yeah, except maybe in California things aren't normal a little bit, but
I don't know. I mean, I think California does get a lot of heat from a lot of
yeah,
people.
of
It
course it
was really
does.
bad.
I
I will.
remember
It
I was
was at some
there.
point really bad.
Yeah,
Where especially mid-pandemic, where it was just the homeless. It was kind of like that movie 12 Monkeys, where like the nature takes over the city. That's what it
absolutely.
started feeling like. I'm like, oh, we're fucked.
Yeah, especially in LA. I mean, from what I was in the Bay, but I was seeing footage from LA, and downtown LA looked like it got even crazier than it ever has been, which is, fucked, but nature heals.
Hey,
Seems like we're in the
I
healing.
don't really like hanging out in downtown LA. I live here and
Yeah.
fuck downtown LA.
That's what people don't know is that no one who lives in LA hangs out in downtown LA.
No, yeah, just stay away
It's
from it.
not
Let them have it. Put a fence around it. That's
like Escape from LA,
yeah.
like the
Just put a
movie.
fence around them. Just leave them in there. They'll handle it.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I know it was bad at some point. I think we're back. There's shows consistently now.
Yeah.
The comedy store sold out every night,
That's
and
amazing to
so
hear.
yeah, because there was a lot of talk where people were like, oh, all the big hitters left to Austin. I'm like, good. Thanks for the opportunity, guys.
Yeah,
That's it.
it seems like it seems like a bunch of people stayed. Like it's kind of half and half.
Yeah, and you're just all they did was open doors for more people. It was
Mhm.
kind of like a movement of a class. Like, all right, you guys graduated, go to Austin, whatever, get out of here. And then there's a whole new wave of people that are taking the comedy scene in LA. And the Santinos and Bobby Lee and Eric Griffin, and Mark Maron, they're like the regulars in the store now that are
All
there every
right.
night.
Mhm.
And that's a killer lineup for
Oh God.
for an every
Dude,
night.
Eric Griffin. I saw Eric Griffin years ago with like Theo Vaughn before he popped off at all. Like I don't think Theo even had a podcast at this time. Eric Griffin is one of the most fucking hilarious comedians I've seen in my life. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. His regular sets at the store are. I mean, I'm so blessed that I get to just watch people work stuff out, and like,
Oh yeah.
it kind of sucks though. I can't enjoy specials anymore.
Why? Because you see all the jokes as they're being
Yeah,
worked
like
out.
I
Yeah.
saw the Netflix like, oh, we got the new Sebastian Maniscalco,
Mhm.
and I put it on. I'm like, oh, I've already heard every one of these jokes. Like I can't
Yeah.
even. I mean, I'm watching it and I'm trying to appreciate like his delivery differences. Like I'm getting
Yeah.
geeky about it, and that's
No, I love the geeky shit. It's so
yeah,
so cool. So
it's weird.
are you doing stand up as well?
I have been writing.
Okay.
Open mics are within range,
Hmm.
so that is something I'm working on. But I'm not. I'm just studying right now. The way I'm looking at it
Yeah.
is, I've always been a fan and a student, but now that I'm there, twice a week, I just sit in the back and just watch. And I'm watching
Oh man.
technique. I'm watching like how they react when a joke doesn't land. Like those things are important.
Totally.
Because it's you go up there and you eat shit and you bomb and then you start panicking and you just that's why it's a tough
Right.
business. That's why you get a lot of Brody Stevens situations. Like
Yeah.
we're losing them by the minute because it's a tough business, and people are getting more opinionated, like on the internet and social media.
Yeah.
Everybody's a little more vocal about their bullshit, like, and for no reason, people trolling too, like just immediately, hey, new song, it sucks, like
Oh yeah.
just because they want a reaction, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I go through because I'm a huge Kill Tony fan, and sometimes I like go and look at the Kill Tony Reddit, and it's just like people talking shit about such an awesome show. And the internet, I feel like I've gotten good at like not paying attention to what people say on the internet and just kind of, this sounds fucked up, but just kind of looking at those comments as being like not as like NPCs. Like it's not even a real, and just not paying attention to them. But it's
Yeah.
like, I understand how people let that stuff get to them because it can, sometimes people say comments that really dig at your insecurities and like hit you just in that spot.
The right button.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. It's gotten crazier. So yeah, I can't imagine. But like I said, I watch Kill Tony every week and I'm always like, I do not know how these people get up on stage and do that. There's no musical accompaniment. There's nothing to fall back on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
you and your words and speaking, and I don't know if I could deal with it. It's a whole different thing than music. It's a whole different,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's tough. It's on you. It's all on you. And you get direct eye contact. There's
Yeah,
no, because when it's a concert, people are more pressed together, and it gets a little blurry.
totally.
But like when it's just a room of 40 people, you see every one of those people.
Oh God, I bet.
And it's even the bright, and then sometimes the bright light will fuck you up and you just see some face. It's a
Yeah.
terrifying thing to be up on there, but I like watching the professionals kill. Like Tony, you have no idea. Like
Oh yeah.
when Kill Tony was at the store, they would do sometimes 2 episodes back to back, and then Tony would go do sets at all the rooms. Like he would go
Whoa.
upstairs and do the belly room, and then he'd go to the OR and do a set. He was like working. He wasn't done till 1, 2 in the morning, which was kind of sucky because I wanted to hang, and it's like by 1 or 2 in the morning, I'm already ready to go home.
Yeah, totally.
And that's when he gets out. I'm like, shit. Now we're gonna smoke, and I'm gonna be here for another 2 hours. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's so inspirational to me because it's cool that that is how professionals work it. They're just
Hmm.
constantly working. It's not like they're getting up and just doing a set and calling it a night for the next 3 weeks. They recognize that you have to practice constantly in order to get to that point. And that's something I really like about the comedy scene is that hustle that is
Hmm.
involved with it. It inspires the fuck out of me.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I hang out there. People,
Mhm.
like, I don't think some. It's obviously there's the element of I get to hang out with people that are of a higher echelon than where I come from, but
Right.
but the thing is, it's not even about that for me. It's not about clout chasing or just,
Oh no.
I met this guy, I met that guy. I don't even care anymore. It's more about
Hmm.
sitting there and studying and watching the work ethic because it's nuts. And
Totally.
I've been trying to keep up, and like I said, open mics are there, and I've been writing, so hopefully one day I'll get up and we'll see how it goes. But it won't be at Kill Tony because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, no one, I don't want to get roasted by the roast master general. That would just be,
No.
no, I don't want to deal with that. So
Yeah.
I'm always like, wow, these people are fucking brave to get up on that stage. And I don't know that a lot of them know what's coming. So yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
I love
them.
those
That would
people
be
that sign up without they sign up and they don't know what they're signing up for.
right.
Like, who
Yeah.
are you? How are you living
I
your
know.
life? Are you doing
I
that
know, man.
everywhere?
Yeah.
Just walk up somewhere, hey, what's going on here? Sure, yeah,
Right.
whatever.
Well, with that being said, some of the like, dude, William Montgomery is one of my favorite comedians. Like, dude, just a total genius. I fucking love that guy, the whole thing. So, a lot of awesome talent rolls through Kill Tony.
What I like about William Montgomery is that he's like an old school wrestler because he maintains what we call kayfabe. He maintains that. He
What's
keeps it
kayfabe?
going. Kayfabe so kayfabe is the Undertaker. You know the Undertaker, right?
Of
You've
course.
seen him. And imagine the Undertaker dressed as the Undertaker at the bank. That's
Ah,
him keeping
right.
kayfabe. He doesn't want people to see the normal person. He's maintaining the story. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
gimmick, and he does it live. Like I went to his apartment to do a podcast
Hmm.
for this show, and this is before I started doing video, but we sat on the roof of his building and smoked weed and drank beer for 4 hours, and the entire time it was like a test. He would like say some crazy shit, and then I would have to be like, "Oh my god, is he serious or is he joking?" And then I would have to like, "All right, no, wait, he's joking. Obviously joking. Okay, so joke back." And like just exercising improv bits with each other the whole time. And it's
Wow.
such a fun exercise to do too.
God, I bet. That's amazing. I need to go back and listen to that episode.
I wished it was video because it was ridiculous. I wish it had video, but yeah, definitely if you want to check that, it's fun. But yeah, being around those people it's mind blowing to me because I've musicians are also equally mind blowing, and it's funny the crossover there too because that's kind of what got me into the hang was me bringing musician friends to the store, and then they would meet backstage, and like it was. The comedians love the musicians. They think it's insane what they do. Like Bill Burr
Right.
is a fan of Meshuggah, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a hot news story for a minute.
Yeah, it's like that's awesome. So it's cool that they each respect each other mutually because it is both. So they're both the hardest things to do, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that, there is that mutual appreciation for it because I think that comedians are kind of like, how the fuck do you guys do that? And musicians are like, how the fuck do you guys do that? Yeah.
Because it's both in the same realm of performing in front of people, but it's just
Right.
different elements, different things that you got to work with. So
Mhm.
is that something that interests you? Do you want to do stand up?
Hell no. I'm never gonna do stand up. No way.
I think you
I just
should.
like
I think you
no,
should.
I like having something that I'm into that I'm not a part of. I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
enjoy that. And with music, it's like I obviously am obsessed with music, but I'm very much a part of it. And my sense of understanding and like the way I consume music is different because of my involvement in it.
Mm.
And I just like being a bystander of comedy and getting to kind of exist on the outer edges and just be in awe of it without having to take it on as my own thing.
I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
that. That's something I need to do because I get when I like a thing, I go all the way in. It's so
Yeah.
stupid. It's stupid because you lose not that you lose appreciation. I still appreciate all the things that I love. It's
Yeah.
just but like you said, you see it in a different way.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you lose that magic,
Yeah. It's like I enjoy the part of me that doesn't totally get like how comedy gets from point A to point Z. I just enjoy that. Like I hear music and I can pretty much dissect it a lot of the time.
Hmm.
I just Naveen, my fiance, and I are very different in that way. When he gets super into something, he's got to be like fully a part of it. And
Mm.
I kind of just want to have like the hobbies that I'm way into, like music, I'm way into that. And then I want to have things that I can sit on the outside and enjoy.
Is there anything else like that? Like it's aside from comedy, what
I
else are
mean,
you a fan
like
of?
movies and
Ah,
consuming there are other kinds of art that I'm a huge fan of that I just don't completely need to be
you don't
a
want to be
part
an
of.
actress?
I do not. I'm okay I do some voice acting now. That's a weird thing that's been added to my
Well,
resume,
that
but
makes sense because that's your tool right there. That's your main that's what you've been working like athletes like wrestlers work on their whatever biceps. You got that, and
yeah.
you got to make it work. And that's why I think podcasting is one element. I think you should do stand up too because that's another way to use your voice. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't like I'm too critical of I don't know. Yeah, I could not ever see myself doing that. But power to people who do that and
Well,
provide the entertainment because that
just
is awesome.
just make sure you and I are not in Austin on a Monday night because you will be on stage.
Dude, Naveen and I talk about that all the time because we want to go to Kill Tony. But we're like, we could never take his dad because his dad does get up and do stand-up comedy. And we're like, with
Ooh.
our luck, we'd be there. His dad wouldn't know what was coming. He'd put his name in the bucket. He'd get drawn. And then it would inevitably get to the part where it's like, oh, my son plays drums and his fiance is a singer. And then we'd be up on stage on Kill Tony
And then
playing a song.
you tell the story of how Tom and Christina, and then now you're in. That's it. Boom, career. That's how it works with Tony, man. Like if Tony likes you, he'll like. That's one thing. A lot of people talk a lot of shit. I have friends that don't like him. Like I have
Oh,
friends
really?
that they'll send me videos of clips of him roasting somebody, and they're like, "Is this supposed to be funny? This is like very mean. He's an asshole." I'm like, it's a roast.
It's a roast.
It's a
It's all
roast.
in
It's
good fun.
supposed to be this mean, But I'm not going to tell someone that their sense of humor is wrong. Like, fine,
Yeah.
you don't get it. That's fine. Not my problem. It's not my comedy.
Oh yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
True. There's such an art to what he does. I'm just, when I watch that show, I'm totally in awe at how quick he is with some of the things he says. Like, it's amazing how I want to be that quick-witted just to like use it in conversation.
Yeah, but yeah, if he likes you, he takes care of you. Like, if you do well, if you're not douchey on the mic, if you're not like, whatever, Tony, let me roast you back. Like, no, shut up. Like,
I know.
What are you doing? But anyway, shout outs to Kill Tony. The only reason I'm actually like talking about it so much, we did, and rest in peace, Michael Lehrer is gone.
Oh, I know. I heard that happened yesterday or the day before, right, man?
Yeah.
Dude, that first appearance of his on Kill Tony when he's like, fuck with me.
Yeah.
Fuck with me. Oh man, that was just like a thing of history. Yeah. Incredible. He's so goddamn funny, man. That's just a true loss.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah. That I was lucky to spend time with him at the whole pandemic, really. Like, when they were doing Kill Tony, they were filming it inside of this comedy store, but it was empty. There was nobody allowed inside. So I would sit in the crowd. Tony would get me in, like, through the back door and shit. Like, we would sneak in, and then he's like, just sit right there, and like, I had to provide some applause just to get them, because it was me and like 3 people, like Gino from Speedweed and like, a couple, his girlfriend, and it was just, let's get them, going, and fucking every night, Michael Lehrer destroying, coming up with ridiculous skits, and it's so funny and so nice. It's just unfortunate, I can't believe that's one of the things that we've actually like tried to raise money for, and it's still not fixed. Yeah. Because like even cancer, I keep hearing now that we're getting close to figuring some shit out, and like AIDS is not a thing anymore. So hopefully, someday we can find a cure for ALS. That'd be nice.
Totally. What a goddamn hero, though. I mean, he was faced with the toughest thing that you can be faced with, and he got on stage and was fucking hilarious every night. He didn't let that stop him. Yeah. That's a true hero. So, I mean, he left his mark, man.
R.I.P. Mr. Lehrer. But anyway, let's get back. Let's end this on a happy note. I don't want to be sad. Like, it's so funny. Joel? Do you remember Joel, the drummer from Kill Tony, back before when they were at the store?
Yeah, I do
Mexican
remember.
Drum offs?
Yes.
That's my homie, and his birthday was the same night. And I'm like, look at this beautiful gift Michael Lehrer left you for your birthday. Happy birthday, Joel.
Happy birthday,
Peace.
motherfucker.
Fucking shit.
Holy shit.
So, okay, you did the YMA. Is there anything, have they reached out to you to do more stuff, Tom and Christina, or?
I mean, I just did a Christmas thing for the live thing, but no, they reached out to me about that, and they sent me a really nice care package, and Christina has just been so incredibly nice to me through the whole thing. And yeah.
You send them the new video?
I did not. I don't do that. I don't really send people stuff.
I'll do it.
They'll find out about it.
I'll send them the video. It's good, man. It'd be cool to whenever take them to an Entheos show.
I know. Yeah. I told Christina when they first put the video on Your Mom's House like a year ago, I was like, hey man, if you ever want to come to a metal show when we're in Austin, hit me up. And she was like, I think it might be a little too hardcore for me. But
just tell her to do her, what is it? She does like a goth dress
I know,
up
just
that she
dress
does.
like
just
a
dress
goth, dude. I know, totally. You'll fit right in. So what are the goals for 2023? I know the album and touring is the priority right now, but what else do you have? What are you working on? Just keeping the Entheos train rolling, man. That's what I'm working on at all times.
Merchandising, so that's something that when bands start to get a little bigger and bigger and bigger, the merchandise starts to get a little wild to me.
Yeah, totally.
Look at like Mastodon, they have like weird shit for going skiing, and because it just like we're out of everything else. What else? How about a golf bag?
It becomes very like Kiss. Like Kiss set the precedent for that. You can just start putting your name on everything, right?
So,
Um,
we're getting Entheos coffee, whiskey, some
Probably all
beers.
of the above. I mean, we're going full Kiss.
Nice, nice.
But
I
yeah.
could help you arrange if you want a coffee or some beers. I can do beers and coffee.
All right,
I can help
we'll
you out
talk
with that.
about that. We'll talk about it post show.
Yeah, like
Uh
I said earlier, diversify the revenue streams.
no, yeah, it's important. You know, we do like tie-dye drops every so often, and I'm kind of that's my realm. I'm always thinking about new merch stuff that we can do and just, cool designs and
The tie dye drops are a thing. Like it's a real thing. People,
mhm,
I mean, I wouldn't wear it, but I like looking at it. I think
totally.
it's a cool pattern. I like seeing people wear. I'm an old man. I just wear all black, like I'm fucking mourning every
I do
second that I'm
too
alive.
most of the time. My whole closet is black.
Yeah.
It's frightening when you walk in there.
I go look. Listen, I'll tell you a secret. I go to Old Navy every Black Friday. They have black pants or two for whatever it is, and I go every year and I buy two pair of the same fucking pants, and I just stack them in the closet. And as they start fading out and getting old, I toss it and I have a new pair.
That is hilarious. I'm super into like tech wear. I don't know if you know what tech wear is. It's kind of like
Does it have
goth
USB drives?
futuristic. No, it's not that kind of tech.
It has
But it's
speakers,
like
so while you're walking, you're blasting music.
super. But so it's like a lot of black kind of it's like futuristic ninja clothing. I just
Futuristic ninja clothing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like runner, like tight up to the shins, but then kind of poofy
Yeah, a
on the
little bit like that.
pants.
Totally. Lots of like belts and, stuff
Straps.
like that, straps and yeah, all that kind
Okay,
of stuff.
okay.
So
Like Sleep Token. You want to dress up like Sleep Token?
no, I don't want to dress up like Sleep Token. I believe that's a mask and a cloak that they've got going
They're
on, right?
upgrading. I don't know if you've seen some new live footage. The dude's got like
Mhm.
he has a shoulder guard now, like he's from Final Fantasy, and
Oh,
like a fur thing and a cane with like feathers. I'm like, oh, this is going
oh, fantastic.
full performance. I love it. I'm in.
It's funny. So last night I was watching this documentary about the Backstreet Boys. And they, like at the height of their career, they started wearing a bunch of Fox motocross stuff, like almost trying to emulate the style that you're talking about,
Oh
but it
yeah.
looked so goddamn cheesy. I was just like, I could get most of that stuff for $5 on Amazon now that they're using to dress up. It was fascinating, that early 2000s style.
Yeah, yeah. Backstreet Boys are definitely an interesting phenomenon. I was there for the just watching it happen. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Hey
Okay.
man,
Everybody was into the music too. Like, I'm like, all right.
I was more of an NSYNC fan,
Oh,
because
bye,
they
bye,
came a
bye.
little later. Yeah, I was a little more bye 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 than
Well,
whatever the
Timberlake is hilarious. There's one that did a little crossing over to comedy that I thought was funny.
that's true. Dick in a box, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
man.
hilarious. Obviously
I thought so.
inappropriate at this point, but uh,
Most things that happened 10 years ago are a little, it's time kind of does that, I guess.
where do you think we're going after this? Because I feel like we have to go somewhere. As a society, as it's
Hmm.
getting more difficult to say certain things that, and I'm not complaining. I get some things are offensive and we shouldn't be
Oh,
saying
me
them.
too.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
I get
get
it,
it.
but there is always context that needs to be
Yeah.
involved, and I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. Is it where comedy gets dangerous again, where that's the only place where you can say things like that, as in a dark comedy club?
I don't know. It kind of feels like people are loosening up a little bit more again. I tend to only see like super extreme opinions on Twitter.
Mm,
Like if I log on to Twitter, I've noticed that because it's not an app that I use a whole lot. Um, but all of those like really extreme things, I tend to only see there. It doesn't seem like it's happening on Facebook or Instagram as much. So I don't know if it's just super overblown because of the internet and that people were always kind of like this and things were always kind of like this, or yeah, I don't know where I see it going. It seems like comedy has fought back against it to a big degree. I mean, we're talking about Kill Tony and all of these comedians who I don't feel have like they've gotten like more extreme almost.
Yeah, Tony's definitely playing a pro wrestling character on stage.
Yeah.
He's a heel character.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really. Yeah.
It's
I
an
do
interesting.
think.
It's an
I
interesting
do.
time.
Yeah. And I do think that, it's like we're saying, like some of the things that people get angry about, they actually should be taken out of like topics and conversation, like certain words that they're mad about. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't use that word. So I do think that there is good that comes out of it, and then there is bad. But I don't know. I just kind of like staying in my house and not really paying attention to what other people are saying or doing and trying not to let that stuff get like the best of my life, really.
Yeah, you can get sucked into. It's like a vortex of hatred, and every time I pull up Twitter because I have to for the show or some other, to promote something,
Yeah.
I fall in for like a second of like, I really Xbox is trending. What's going on with that? So I click it, and it's immediately like just hatred of from both sides, like just people
Yeah.
fighting,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, is it everywhere? Is everything like this? I click on another thing that was trending. It was like a sporting event, and I click it, same thing. People just fighting. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do people go to Twitter? Like, really? That's
I mean,
what you're doing. You're just going to yell. I mean, I guess if
yeah.
it's a therapeutic thing where if I rather you tweet some angry shit than yell at your wife
Yeah.
or your kids, you know what I mean?
Right. It does seem like it's that like people can use it as an aggressive form
Outlet.
of expression outlet. Yeah, and they
Then
don't
Twitter should just go with it, brand it as that, like welcome to hell. They should just call it.
welcome to the ring.
Have you ever
Yeah.
wanted to enter hell and see what everyone's just fighting and just vicious, disgusting behavior? There's porn on Twitter. Like
There's super hardcore porn on Twitter. But yeah, man, I just think that, people people don't necessarily view other people on the internet as being real people. So it's an easy place to go and be aggressive and get it out. But if you talk to people in real life, generally they're not like that. Like if I go to Walmart right now, there aren't going to be a bunch of people commenting on anything that I do. So I just honestly like to pay more attention to the world. I don't want to say the real world because the real world does exist on the internet as well. But I just like paying more attention to the things that are immediate in my life and the people who are immediate. And no one is like that there. No one is super angry.
But that's because the real world's a simulation, man, and you're the programmer.
Well, if it is, then I'm fucking down.
I definitely have gone down that rabbit hole of like, this is all a simulation.
Of course.
Some of the things that I get, like we were talking manifesting. So earlier, you mentioned that you manifested this whole thing into happening with Tom and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you like? Are you reading The Secret?
I have read The Secret.
Are you walking around with a stone in your pocket and a magnet stone?
I'm not. I honestly am the type of person who kind of leaves it up to anything is possible. There are no like concrete answers in this life, and I don't necessarily think that I'm going to find any concrete answers, but I am an explorer of those answers, and I do uh think that there is the possibility of spirituality, of a God. I think that, it is possible that I manifest things, that each of us manifest things. It is possible that the law of attraction exists. But it's also possible that none of those things exist and that there's nothing after this world. And it's just nothing. I really like to explore topics more than I like to cast anything out as being not a possibility. So
Right.
that's kind of where I come from on it.
That's cool. That's a cool way to look at it. I'm convinced because of certain things that happened to me.
Yeah.
that the law of attraction is absolutely real because it's happened so many times. It's just science at this point, Isn't that what science is, where you like test it out, and if it succeeds, 9 out of 10 times, okay, I guess that's how it works. That's how science works. So I've done that. So I've tried the law of attraction thing, not with the book and the stone and the fucking magnet rings. I don't do any of that shit, but just thinking about it and like meditating on it, and then like, okay, what do I need to do to start doing that. I
Right.
need this and this. All right, let's go get those things.
Yeah.
And just simple. And even if you don't know what you're doing, like this show, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing when we started.
Right.
It was just piece it together as you go. And look at the things that you're able to bring to light, not just me, but you and other people that practice. Like, you know, that stupid saying everybody says, like, oh, you know, you could be whatever you want, you know, be who you want to be. It's true.
It's true. It's 100% true. It
true.
is. There's no way it's not. I agree with you. I definitely feel with the things that have happened in my life that it stands to reason every time I've thought of something or been super positive and had a positive outlook on something or worked really hard for something, it's happened for me and come true. So it's hard to think that the law of attraction is not real. But yeah, I don't know. That's the crazy thing about life, I guess, is that we're never going to get any concrete answers. At least I don't think that we are. But it does seem like magic exists. It does seem like it exists.
It absolutely does. We're not going to get answers. And guess what? We don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need them because life is beautiful. Life is really beautiful if you want it to be. It's really an amazing experience.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's naive to think this way of like, hey, this is how cell phones work. Could I figure that out and like learn about how to make them? Nope. I'm just going to enjoy it. Let me have my fucking tiny computer. I don't need to know how to make that. Same thing. Like if you want to manifest, don't worry about the why or like how, like just think about it, work on it and do it. And it'll just start happening. I don't know. I love it. And I'm really glad that you're there. You're manifesting things. Your life is where you want it to be. Is this all you don't have a day job, right? You don't have all your income comes from
a day job.
There. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do. But but it's beautiful that you don't. Like you've done it. So I'm looking forward to the tour. I need to see you guys live again. It's been too long.
We'll be in LA.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited for the new album. It's you can pre-order it now. There's I think 3 or 4 variants of it. Time will take us all.
Yes, there are 3. One is a tour exclusive.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, fancy. Please go listen to the 3 songs that are out right now. They're incredible. Like it's completely different from stuff from the past, but it still feels like Entheos. You still hear a lot of the elements of the prior stuff, but there's just new stuff. And don't be closed-minded about it and like, ooh, why is you singing? Shut up.
Singing is good, you guys.
Yeah, singing is great. I love it, and I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked for you guys. So, tell people all the social medias. Where can they find you? Where can they follow? Where they get all the stuff?
Yeah, it's Entheos on every piece of social media out there: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Just go type it into Google. You'll find it.
Yes,
very easily.
Very easily. And pre-order the album, please.
Yes, please pre-order the album. It would mean the world to us. We're really proud of it.
It's important. People don't understand how important it is. They're just like, yeah, just listen to it when it comes out. Pre-order the album. That's how you help the band so that they can make more things that you like.
That's how you make us look good to the label.
Right.
So go and pre-order that shit.
Exactly. The number, the label looks and like, oh shit, numbers. Yeah. That's where they come from.
Yes, they do.
So check them out, pre-order, get the album. Thank you so much, Chaney. I know we've been going back and forth about doing another one of these, and I'm sorry that it's taken this long, but perfect timing. New album.
Happy whenever.
Yeah. Let's do it again, and we'll stay in touch.
Hell yeah. Have a good day, Eddie.
Cheers.
Peace out.